There's a moment in every leader's life when the mask slips, when the brand polish and the title and the hustle falls away. And what's left is the truth. I'm Annie Gibbins, Grand Stevie Award-winning global business leader, who's made it her mission to strip leadership down to what truly matters. Because for years, I chased a version of success everyone told me I should want. But what I realized was that real power and influence, true leadership, doesn't come from just peak performance. It actually stems from authenticity. This is The Naked Leader, a podcast where we dive into the moments that test, shape, and transform the people behind the titles. So you'll hear from founders and innovators, change makers who have built extraordinary businesses and lives. But more importantly, who've learnt what it costs to stay human along the way. This isn't about perfection, it's about truth. It's about leadership without the layers. Welcome to The Naked Leader. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to The Naked Leader. As you know, this is the podcast where we strip away all of those titles and achievements and glossy things that really sometimes aren't true to uncover the real raw journeys of leaders, the doubts that they have, the setbacks, the awakenings, and the truth that it actually takes to lead. So today I am joined by Amy Tyler. She is the founder of the Institute of Oncology Massage. And now you might know her through her work with therapists that she's trained or the patients whose lives she's actually touched personally in her institute. But behind the professional success, there is a human story for all of us, the journey of courage and challenge and resilience. And that is a story that we are going to uncover today. So welcome, Amy.
Thank you, Annie. It's lovely to be here.
So take me back to the very beginning, before the Institute, before the recognition that you have now. What pulled you into massage and eventually oncology massage?
I grew up in a family that used a lot of physiotherapy. We were a medical kind of based family, I suppose, and I thought I would be a physio. So I did my year 10 work experience in, unfortunately for physiotherapy, a hospital-based physio, and was in ICU, and most people in ICU are unconscious. I'm a bit of a talker. That wasn't going to work for me. And then mostly it was helping people to walk again, taking casts on and off. And I was like, where's the hands-on stuff? So discussing it as a 16-year-old with my parents after year 10 work experience, my mum was just like, well, why don't you be a massage therapist if you want hands-on? Good idea. So I went straight from high school into massage therapy and always thought, well, I won't be losing anything by doing massage. I'll gain all the hands-on skills, but if I still want to be a physio afterwards, it will actually add into the physio. And I did my massage and I did not want to be a physio afterwards. I was so happy, just hands-on, touching, doing the things that brought me joy, I suppose, rather than machines and all the other things that came with physiotherapy. So hence I became a massage therapist.
Incredible. I love that. I love that. And often we do that. I'll just do this now to become something else or to take another path, or sometimes one that you expect other people wanted you to take. I love that you knew at such a young age, this is it. And what a hands-on practical soul you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always have been hands-on. And I don't think my high school were too impressed. Because, everybody went to university and I went off to do a diploma in massage at college.
The joys of being a disappointment. I have shared those as well over the time.
Yeah. I was lucky to be supported by parents who went, if that's what you want to do, do it.
Do it. I love that. What great people. Shout out to the parents. I absolutely love that. So looking back now, was there a single moment of awakening when you realized, hang on now, I've been doing this hands-on joy for a long time. I'm not just a practitioner, I'm becoming a leader in this space?
Not sure there was a moment where I felt like I was becoming a leader. I think there's been a lot of, not mental struggle with the word leader, I suppose, but a bit like I hadn't ever yet made it to a position where leader was a worthy title, I suppose. And I think that's just because I came into massage so young. Most people back 25 years ago came as a second career. So I was always 20 some odd years younger than everybody in the industry in every class I attended. But it was when I got asked to be a teacher in oncology massage by someone who had mentored me that I thought, oh, yeah, like that'd be great. I can share what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. I still didn't see myself as a leader. I was just sharing my knowledge. And I think because I was still the youngest in the class,
Yes.
so I was taking the class, it felt a bit weird kind of labeling anything there. So I think it was really only within the last few years. Yeah, when I physically set up Institute of Oncology Massage that I thought, oh, wow, maybe you're actually doing something in this industry that's kind of at a leadership level now.
That is such a good point for our listeners, because that concept of seniority, it's like leadership comes when you're older. Other people have said that word to you. I remember someone just in passing, like I was running a nursing school, like 15, 20 years ago, and someone just said in passing, well, you're a leader, you do this. And I'm like, am I? Am I? And of course I was a leader, but it's not one of those words that you come across and you go, right, now I'm a leader, or other people are older than me, more experienced than me, so therefore they are and I am not yet. So I just find that such an interesting one for our listeners to actually pick up and go, yeah, you don't have to wait. It's leadership qualities that we're talking about on this podcast.
Absolutely.
But every leader that I know has hit some roadblocks, like not feeling like you're senior enough to take on an opportunity. And that's often those moments that leadership is forged, I think, because you hit something and go, but I want to be senior in this space. I want to be known in this space. I'm taking the steps. Have you had any big challenges that you've faced while trying to establish yourself? And you might need to also tell the listeners, well, what is an oncology massage and what does that whole concept mean?
Yes. So I suppose when I came to oncology massage, I was one of 26 people in Australia trained when I got trained by the beautiful Eleanor Royston. And it was a time frame where I think we'd gone from oncology massage or people with cancer not having massage because of some fear that we were going to spread the disease, or doctors just thinking you were the most hooky kooky thing on earth. So why would you spend your money on that? Like, just don't waste your money. And I came into it simply because I'd always wanted to be on the medical side of massage. And I had been looking for it, kind of fell into it a little bit and realized when I started my training, this is actually where I want to be. I didn't know that this was it. Now I'm here. This is it. But nobody knew oncology massage existed. Doctors were skeptical. There were no referrals. All the patients were scared. And people were still telling patients not to have massage. So it was a time frame where trying to actually build a clientele was really hard.
Yes.
Thankfully, I had a lot of other hands-on skills, and I was treating marathon runners and swimmers and all the other things that we do as massage therapists. But I found the passion and then just had to work really hard at getting a referral base who were trusting of me with their patients. And I worked on one particular doctor for about 10 years. So I would just send a letter every time I had a patient who happened to see this doctor. I'd say to the patient, may I send them a letter? And very occasionally, I don't know how, my brochures would end up in their waiting room. And I might have tried to get them in there and I got blocked by admin and all the, left, right and centre. And then someone say, I got your brochure in the waiting room. And I think, I'm not sure how you got that. But anyway, fantastic. I'll write a letter and thank them for referring you, knowing full well they hadn't actually done a referral as such. And after 10 years of just stubbornly writing the letter, constantly, thanks for, referring this patient to me. These are the benefits they've received from treatment. If I can help anybody else. I got an invite by the secretary to go and have a coffee with the doctor so they could understand oncology massage a little bit more. And
Brilliant.
now they refer. So,
what a brilliant story. I absolutely love that. I love your tenacity.
Yes.
And I also love
Stubbornness.
and stubbornness. And you know what? I'm all into this. Is why I love chatting with people of your caliber, because we're all in, right? It's kind of like, no, this is my space. This is when you're niche before people know the niche.
Yes.
And it's hard to explain that, but it also isn't easy. And this is part of that leadership quality. It's actually saying, no, it's lovely when you can get all those referrals and it just supports your business. And you happy to say in that conversation that you were getting business. It's not as if you weren't successful, but to actually identify, here's a niche, I'm going to claim it. But you then had to go the extra mile. You had to write the letters. You had to act probably more professional than others to stand out. You had to, have that X factor, whether you put the brochures there or you send your client back with the brochures to drop them back because they had a good time. Hello, magically something happens. Wow, wow, wow. When you had that conversation with the doctor, did it feel professional or were they still really just checking you out?
100% checking me out. I went in, it was just in their consult room. We didn't go for a coffee at a cafe or anything. We just went into the consult room, sat down, had a chat. It was a relaxed chat, but, they did question me. And it was, if somebody's on chemotherapy and they've got low platelets or if they've got low white cells, what adaptations would you make? And I just had to be able to answer, but at a medical level.
Yes.
Because I was communicating with a doctor, not a patient. And that is very different. They want to know that you know your information, that you're not hesitant, but you're also not going to do any harm, and that you also know when not to but maybe work on a patient. Whereas patients, you can use very different language with.
Yes.
So, yes, it is very different. It wasn't daunting because I was 10 years in to that niche. And I was, much further into my actual massage career. And I had such a passion about what I was doing. I was already teaching in the industry. So I was using a lot of the language anyway. I could just simply talk. But I think that's one of the biggest challenges when people come into oncology massage is learning to navigate that medical system and use the language that they use. We need to enter at their level.
100% in everything that we do, and I'll speak at conferences and it's like whatever space I'm in, I've got to do some research. I've got to understand that space. I've got to, because you're joining their family, their group, their way of thinking, and so you're there for your expertise, but also they're going to check you out going, is there a good fit? Is this a win-win situation? And particularly in an area like medicine, they're not there for them. They're there for their patient. Everyone is there for that patient and go, is the patient going to be better off by me referring to this person? It's a huge responsibility. So I actually think it's right that the doctors have you in for the powwow chat.
Yes.
But also what I hear in that conversation is that you were ready. You must have had that moment. You walked out the door and went, I can now do this.
Yes. Absolutely. And if maybe like 10, 15 years earlier, I'd been invited in for that chat, I think I would have been really nervous. I'd have been just, oh my gosh, like what will I say? I don't know enough. If you ask me a question and I don't know the answer, what will I do? Whereas I was in a position when he asked me in to actually go in and have a very professional conversation and not be hesitant.
Love it. Building the institute. Oh my goodness, congratulations. But I imagine that not everyone welcomed that idea. Who is this Amy? And suddenly she owns an institute of oncology massage. Like, that's a big thing. And like, how did it happen? And is she the right person? And is she old enough, wise enough? All those things. Did you meet that kind of resistance, that seniority rule, I used to call it, because I had that when I first became a head teacher in nursing, and other people used to say, well, how did you do something, that step when others should have done it before you? What sort of resistance did you reach at that time? And then how did you go, you know what, I'm just going to push through. I'm not going to worry about that.
I think it was quite a changing moment because massage had always been hands-on, face-to-face. And COVID had hit, and we realized that there was another way of doing things. And in an industry where we weren't really open to having other ways of doing things, suddenly we had to be. And so it was during COVID times that I started to feel like there were other opportunities to me. I had also lost my income like every other massage therapist. And that was the third time in my career where I had indefinitely lost my income. So twice medically prior. And then this was the third time. And I just thought, I can't do this again. I need to have something that will help if medically I get taken out again, or if something else happens in the world, how will I pay my bills? And I was considering kind of all the different things that I had learned over the years, and I loved teaching. It was something that when I was doing the face-to-face courses, I was so passionate about. So I do want to continue with that. And I was teaching for another organisation, and there aren't many organisations around in oncology massage. And I just had an opportunity to step away and create something myself that I had that passion for. In doing so, the people from the other organisation I talked with, the people I was close to, I suppose, and they were all sad that I was leaving, but all understood why and actually were very nice about things and very supportive. There was only one person I came across who wasn't so supportive and did question my ability to have success. That was somebody who wasn't necessarily a mentor of mine.
Yeah.
The people who I had classified as mentors had said some really beautiful things. So I was feeling like, although I knew that they were now competition and wouldn't necessarily be my mentors anymore, I could still look up to them and I could still feel like that there was some kind of respect still there. And for me, that is hugely important, the respect. So stepping away was a challenge, but I needed to do it for me as well. And then in setting up, there was a bit of kind of like, okay, I've got all of this ready to go. I'm going to launch this, but it's an online business. This is going to be something I want to reach therapists who are in the most rural areas of Australia because they get cancer patients too. And quality education is so expensive for therapists in rural areas or even Western Australia. It's not rural, but so many practitioners who teach are in the eastern states. And WA students have to pay a lot of money to come across and do their training. And I thought if I can create this online, they can access it equally as the person who lives next door to me. But doing something online as well, I think a lot of people were like, oh, not sure about doing my massage training online. But what I'd always said to people is, well, you're already a massage therapist.
Yes.
I'm not training you from scratch. You've got great skills already that I can adapt. So I was lucky that although in the industry we had this, oh, we shouldn't be doing things online, COVID had allowed me that opportunity. And then there were opportunities from ATMS who had actually shown me that I could be a leader in the industry. I'd won the beautiful award with the ATMS Natural Medicine Practitioner of the Year, which came around that same time I was quietly setting things up. So I kind of felt like everything just aligned at the right time. There were a few challenges, and I think, again, possibly more in my own brain than actually from other people, of being still seen as young as opposed to the other people teaching all of these amazing things in our industry who go to conferences, present at conferences, and they've all had a similar time frame in the industry as me, 20 plus years, but are 10, 15, 20 years older. And they're seen as, you know, these people of wisdom in the industry that everybody wants to grab everything from. And I think, as I say, that was more my own issue than it was other people's. And we naturally gravitate to these people that have been in the industry for so long that we see everywhere. We want to grab as much information from them as possible to put into our clinic space because we know they're leaders in the industry.
Yeah.
So I think because it was early days for me, I wasn't well known, that challenge of being seen alongside these people was probably just an awkwardness in my brain because I didn't feel like I was at their level. So it was a very daunting moment being able to then present things for the Australian Traditional Medicine Society as a leader in the industry, webinars, some face-to-face courses. That has, I think, given me some more leadership status, and people have been very open to, once they've heard a webinar, signing up to the next one, contacting me via email or, on Facebook to say, look, I've got this patient, could you just give me a bit of advice? So I think that has really helped. And yeah, in hindsight, looking back, there were minimal obstacles, or maybe I was blind to them as well. Sometimes
can be an advantage. Sometimes you can be so focused. There could be these things and you're like, oh, well, too bad. This train's going faster than you are.
Yes. And I was in such
that's a blessing
to get this course out of my brain and out and happening that I think I was so focused. I missed a lot of what was going on around me.
I love that. I love that. Definitely take that as a blessing.
Yeah.
And I think what you've shared there, thank you for being so open and honest, because I think that's going to help so many people realize that, these are normal journeys and these are the conversations we have on this show, that it's normal for other people to assume just because someone is older that they are wiser. Now they may, but also you've got other skills coming through, that you've got, different amounts of energy, wisdom, online training opportunities, that you might even just have your own niche perspective on things, and then also making that conscious decision to get known. If you can't just magically think, oh, well, here I am, I've set something up, people are going to find me. You've actually done that hard work as well. You've got yourself, you've made yourself available. You've probably pushed, you've probably sent those many, many emails. How's it going? How's it going? Yes. You've got yourself then evidence, and I'm all about that, getting the evidence digitally. So when people Google you, Amy, they'll find you. And it's like, yeah, you've got the credibility, and with that becomes that whole package. So while you knew you could do these online courses, you knew the content you wanted to teach people, they were already massage therapists, so you didn't have to worry about, you're not teaching them just to massage online. There would have been other business skills, business requirements that it's like, wow, you set up a whole institute. This is new qualities, new learning. Did that throw you much, or do you have one of those minds that's like, nope, what do I need to know? I'm just going to research and just go step by step?
So certainly there are a lot of challenges there, and I am very much somebody who, if it's totally outside my scope and I want it done properly, I will pay. So things like setting up a company. My clinic, I'm a sole trader. I don't have an idea of what company actually means, what that involves, all the additional things you need to do every year. So when I was setting that up, it was speak with the accountant, get them to do this properly. And then every time I'd created the course and I was like, right, I'm ready to record the course. I probably should have a logo on the actual recording.
Yes.
Oh, I need a logo. Okay, cool. So I need a logo. Oh, I probably need a business name. Oh, how do I register a business name? Oh, if I'm registering a business name, I better get the internet, www. that. Is that available? Oh, my goodness. And then every time I had a thought to do one thing, it ricocheted off, you need that first. And then that was, oh, but you need that first. So it was a lot of research just getting one thing done so I could finally actually do my recording that was the original prompt. So I just did a lot of research doing things, and I had been watching some business coaches in our industry for a couple of years. And I happened to have just kind of signed up over COVID with them, mainly for my clinic, because I thought, well, I've never really done advertising in my clinic because I just do word of mouth and I do referrals from doctors. And as I mentioned previously, you know, I write letters to doctors. I'm just, once they get to know you, you can get a great referral system happening. So I was full without physically Facebook, Instagram, advertising, anything like that.
Yeah.
So
Brilliant.
I incidentally signed up for business coaching to get advertising stuff for my clinic. Meanwhile, had this happening in the background and hadn't told them because I was keeping it secret. And then kind of mentioned it, and they were like, why are we working on your clinic? Why are we not working on this together?
Yes.
Forget about your clinic. You're actually doing fine. So they were then able to kind of talk me through and help me and keep me focused, I suppose, on what was the next thing that had to happen. So creating the plan, working through it, and then having a time frame and having somebody every week go, have you done that?
Yes.
I think it was so important.
You need cheerleaders and you need accountability partners,
Yes.
you know, and for myself as a coach, that's what I always say. I'm your biggest cheerleader and I'm also your accountability coach. So don't lie to me. Don't say the dog ate it. You know, whatever. It's like you either did it or you didn't, right? And it's also having those steps. It's the steps that you don't know which order they go in. I love that. Some of you listening to this will have a bit of a giggle going, what? Don't you check your domain and all your social media tags and get your business set up properly and then do all these things and then set up a business? And you go, yes, you do. But not always. When you're in the heart warrior space, which is Amy's whole area, oh no, they just get going, do things and go, oh, do I need that? I hope it's still available. And the reality is, you know what? You can do it both ways. You can be successful. And I love that. We learn and we giggle and we plod along and you make your own space.
Well, it tends to be a little bit of the way I do things. I think one night was just like, you know, there's this opportunity. I could teach like this. I could create what I want. How would I do that? Could it be successful? I lay awake most of the night. I went to work the next day and kind of thought about it, went to my parents for dinner the next night, and I said, so I've had this idea. Let me know if it's dumb. And I rattled off everything. And my dad was like, so how many months have you been thinking on this? Because I think it's a great idea and I think you should do it. And I was like, 24 hours. And he's like, you know, I think keep thinking about it. But yes, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
And it was just, you know, it was literally just thought up overnight, and I ran with the course creation without that whole business setup, and then went, oh, I need a business for this. So I think I really did do everything backwards. And
you did, I can confirm that, but I still love it.
So many people are like, have you got a business plan? I haven't started on that yet, no, but I've created the course. So I then had to backtrack and do all those things that you're supposed to do. I was lucky I had time because we were in lockdown. So I wasn't hands-on in clinic every single day, running around like a mad woman like I am now. I had a lot of time up my sleeve to actually put the energy into doing it and backtracking and doing it properly. So
COVID was such a blessing for those people who always wanted to do something because, you know, if you didn't create it in COVID, then you're trying to do it in all those wee little hours now. You know, it's just, it was a gift if you went, right, well, this is an unexpected treat since I've just got all this extra time. I love that. If you look at yourself now then and go, you know what, Amy Tyler, I am a leader. I am a leader in this space. Is it because you just know it, you feel it, or is it because people look to you now for that sort of wisdom and advice? Is it because you can just go into a doctor's surgery and just speak the same language and just feel that peer-to-peer respect? Is it because patients just treat you in a way and they give you feedback? Is it the combination of all? What does it mean?
I think it is a bit of a combination. However, I think the biggest one is actually having other practitioners come and ask advice, connecting with me, because I think when I think about the leaders in the industry, the people I want to connect with, that's how I kind of seek them out. So that's what's probably made me feel like a leader in the industry, is actually the people in our industry kind of coming to me, having a chat, knowing me. If we're at a conference and I see people I've taught before, whether it's through my organisation or the one I used to teach for, whether it's been just somebody I maybe trained with in a class that I was a student in 15 years ago, and we catch up and we have a bit of a chat. I think it's that recognition of you. And sometimes it's people who come up and they chat to you like they know you, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, where do I know you from? Oh, God, have I taught you? I don't know. And then they kind of go, oh, you've met me before. Like, I've just been following you online.
Yes.
And
you're like, oh, so we haven't actually met, but lovely to now.
Yes, exactly. So I think that's probably the biggest thing. In clinic, I think the challenge is that what I do is still so unique. I am an oncology massage therapist, I'm a scar massage therapist, and I'm a lymphedema trained massage therapist. And I get to combine those three things. And I've created a bit of a unique blend of that. I did also do a sports therapies diploma back in the day, which gave me a lot of rehab treatment. And I've really adapted that for my post-cancer work as well. So that's been blended in. And I think in the industry, we have a lot more oncology massage therapists now trained, but they've not necessarily done the scar or the lymphedema yet.
Yeah.
Or we have lymphedema therapists trained, they haven't done the additional scar or oncology. So when patients do come in, if they have been elsewhere, they're like, oh, this is so very different. And so they can tell that there's not much else on offer around that offers what I offer. There are practitioners, but I think the closest one to me who offers the three things that I do, we've got somebody in Belrose, I'm in the Hornsby area, we've got someone at Penrith, got some people out at Clovelly. It's haphazard around Sydney.
Yeah.
And you'd think Sydney would have a lot more therapists.
You would think so.
But with those three unique things, which cancer patients need, we actually don't. Or if we do, they're newly trained and they're still just finding their feet in the industry. So give it another 5 years.
Exactly.
And we're going to have some really highly skilled practitioners who are doing all those things, and we are going to have a lot more. But I think at the moment the patients are seeking that out and do say there's not many people around who offer what you offer.
And I love that. You've niched down, you're in demand, and there's an ongoing need, unfortunately. Sadly. But yeah, well done you. Amy, thank you for being so open and honest in your journey. I love your freshness. I love that desire to that, when a seed was planted, the support around you to just say, just go do it. Even when there must have been noise, there's always going to be outliers. There's always going to be competitors. There's always going to be the naysayers. But you know what? Power forward is a huge quality in successful people and people who lead. And also that comfort now that when you know you're a leader, you're happy to then, I need to train up more people. I need to get more people in this space, because I hear in that tone that you're a legacy leaver, right? There's leaders that I meet that go, I'm going to create something through this college that it will have changed. It has created an industry, but it's also changed the way we used to do things, all for the positive and all for the benefit of the consumer, in this case, the patient, which is a wonderful thing. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Annie. It's been lovely chatting today.
Been great to have you on the show, and to you, our dear listeners, thanks for joining us. I hope you found that really interesting. I look forward to bringing our next beautiful guest to you next week. In the meantime, share this episode, share it around, share with your friends. Let us know if you had someone that you would love to hear on this show. Reach out to me directly. Until now, you keep leading, you keep becoming a bigger, bolder, braver, powerful, empowered leader, and definitely keep it naked, keep it real. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to The Naked Leader. If today's conversation challenged your thinking or inspired new action, definitely share it. Leave me a comment. Keep the message alive. You can catch every episode on YouTube, Spotify, or all major podcast platforms. And when you're ready to take the next big bold step for you to start, grow, or scale your business or career, drop over to anniegibbins.com. I look forward to meeting you very soon.